Hi, everybody. I'm here with Rob Nunn, and we're talking about recruiter enablement. So, Rob, you've got a nice varied background in recruiting. Tell us a bit about it.
So thanks for having me, Adam. Yeah, so I think it's my 24th year in recruitment. Like most, started out in
So even more
agency.
than me.
Is it? Started
No,
out
it's
in
about the
agency.
same.
Then went RPO, and then went in-house. I've probably about 10 years of solid leadership and management, ranging from leading small teams in startups to managing a bigger team with FTSE 100 in Primark. And then last couple of roles have been in the embedded space, in the RPO space again.
Yeah, great. Okay, so you've seen this from a lot of different angles. What's recruiter enablement, and what are some of the good things that we should be doing, or the good things that you've seen, you've put in place, or the opposite? What are some of the things not to do?
Well, I mean, I've watched quite a few of your videos, Adam, now. I've been following the progress of your YouTube channel and obviously poetry. Uh, to me, simply recruiter enablement is giving your team the best chance to succeed. And by that, I mean is to understand the objectives, the business objectives, and how you're going to do that, and what the outcomes are needed to be. The potential of the team you're managing as well, and understand that, and the budgets you've got as well, because as TA folk, um, we are like magpies. We like shiny new things. There's a whole plethora of HR tech out there on the market that you get distracted by. What's the budget you need, and what tools are going to work for you to be a success? And I know early on you adopted an acronym of MALT. To add to that, I mean, it's leadership. I won't give you another L, but it could come under the support banner. So as TA leaderships, giving your team the support that's needed, as in understand their potential, but providing that cloud cover for when things aren't too bad, but raising them up when they've done something good and giving them that support, and shine a light on their capabilities and their wins, so to speak. So, but it's that support is, if you take the understanding the potential. I had an example in my last role where I didn't understand the potential or the skills of a particular person I was managing. And the example was, we had to provide a year review on a client, and understand the data and all this around giving the year in review. And I thought she could do it. And I said, "Are you all right with the data? Can you provide this report for us?" And she said yes, because she wanted to please. But she didn't. She couldn't know. So it went on, and I thought she was delivering it. She couldn't do it, but she wouldn't reach out. But if I was a better leader and understood her potential, I would have been able to give that development and give her a bit more handholding. So it's understanding the full potential of your team, and the capabilities they have as well.
Yeah, this is a very interesting one. I don't think anybody's really brought this up in much detail. So, MOLT, marketing operations learning tools. MOLTs, marketing operations learning tool support. I
Yeah.
wonder if support comes into operations somewhere. It can be solved through process, right? Can it? Like, the process is to do with you've got a twice a week check-in with each person in your team, once a week full team meeting. The way that can it be so? I mean, obviously there's the human element of it, and some people are very supportive,
Yeah.
naturally, and other people are absolutely, completely not. But can we put process in place that makes it happen?
Yes, and I think, I can't remember who it was. You forgive me, and hopefully the person forgives me as well. They said freedom within a framework.
Yeah.
That came up, and that you've got to provide that framework, right? But that understanding potential is, can they deliver within that framework, and will they have that curiosity to explore what is possible within that framework, with tools, with process, with sourcing, whatever. But
Yeah.
we do expect a lot from our TA folk. We expect them to source. We expect them to be data analysts. We expect them to be employer brand experts, D&I experts, contract negotiations, all these things, whilst always adding value. And do we have the ability to give our team members the freedom to learn those things, but do we understand that they do or don't have those skills, and provide the learning and learning and processes to help fill that void.
Mm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, very interesting point. So let's talk about what you're doing now. You and Dan have just set up a new business, New Talent Era. What's
Yeah.
the new era? What's the new era all about?
Well, I think it sounds grandiose, but I think we've gone through quite an evolution within TA over the last 2 years. 2 years ago, we were in big demand. We were getting big salaries, and we couldn't hire TA folk fast enough. And now we're sort of at the bottom of that sort of roller coaster. And I think there's a lot of people in TA who are fresh out of agency, and there are a lot of people that are looking for work that are very experienced TA, internal TA folk, which is a shame.
Right.
And I think then there will be a reckoning of sorts next year when boards are looking at getting more out of TA than they're getting now. And it's all too often as TA leaderships, when hiring ramps up, we go, well, we just need another person. Let's just add another person to the team. And I think we need to get more out of TA folk and use of tools as more as we can. And at New Talent Era, what we're looking to do is provide that agility for TA folks to add team members when they can, but also take it away. And we're looking at retained, embedded, and I think most interestingly, sourcing as a service, because sourcing, that top of the funnel activity, in my experience, is the time consumer, is what takes up a lot of the time. And if we can provide that as an agile solution for companies, I think there's potential in that. So
Couldn't agree more. I think there's a lot of companies out there who can do the last mile, but they can't necessarily do the first 50. So the first 49 miles.
It comes down to that recruiter enablement. What are we asking our recruiters to do? What are they good at? And understanding their potential and letting them do that. And then adding the tools, that embedded agile resource on top where it's needed to I suppose grease the wheels of that recruitment funnel.
Yeah. So like I agree with your premise. I think there is a new era that's like starting now. And I think the pandemic, just utter chaos, like complete chaos, was what it created. But then before TA had really had a time to sort of settle after that pandemic, we're into this global economic downturn. But I think it's now that the changes are being made. Yeah. And I think there's more changes being made now really than there was as a result of the pandemic, apart from the obvious, like distributed workforce, people working from home, that type of thing. I think in terms of the way that TA teams are structured now, they're changing shape probably faster than they did as a result of the pandemic. Yeah. So I'm a big believer that an economic downturn is a really good time to start a business. Because
doesn't feel like it, Adam, I tell you, but we'll get
there. I can imagine, and I empathize with that completely as somebody starting a business in a global downturn myself. I definitely empathize with that. But I think that whatever your idea has been for your business, and this is for anybody else that's listening to this who started a business recently, whatever your idea has been, I think you're going to be in a better position than almost anybody else to evolve, like fill the cracks like water does in a rock pool. Yeah. You'll be able to fill the gap that and provide the services that people are needing with a lot more agility than established players will. So I really think working between the seams is the analogy. And I've just used 3 analogies to describe the same thing there, but yeah, no, I genuinely do think it's a good time to be starting a business.
Yeah, I mean, we won't bring up the analogy you used before we started recording, but you know, the last 10 years I've spent building recruitment teams. So whether it be small or for FTSE 100 building large recruitment teams, or Elements hiring recruiters for the TA teams on the likes of Spotify and IKEA. So I have, you know, that enormous network of recruiters at hand, and unfortunately for them that they're still looking, fortunately for me that they are looking, that I can call on them when we do win business, and that, you know, to be able to turn on a dime, I suppose, when new projects do come in with very, very talented people.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, thanks for taking the time to join me today. It's been really useful. I think you're absolutely right. I think support is a big element of this. And all the very best with New Talent Era. I look forward to keeping in touch and watching how you get on.
Brilliant. Thanks, Adam.
Cheers.